So, and then, but because I'd done pretty well on a slow bike at the beginning, GSC won the championship with Neil Hodgson with a big battle with Chris Walker in 2000. And Colin Wright, he took note because I just beat, this is why, I beat Niall Mackenzie at Alton Park to 5th on this SP1, and because I beat Niall on the fast Ducati, I think Niall was in trouble, but he noticed I'd done pretty well, so he rang. He then got Roger Burnett, who was my manager then from that point on, because he rang Roger, because Roger Burnett managed Neil Hodgson. Right, and the team were going from British Superbike to World Superbike in 2000 after they won with Neil, and Neil was not cheap because he was British Superbike champion. He was moving up. They needed a cheap teammate for him, and luckily for me, him and Chris Walker couldn't stand each other because it was going to be him and Chris at one point, but they had a massive fallout because, well, it depends whose fan you are, who took each other out. Alton Park, yeah. So it was a big court case job. So they wanted someone young and cheap, and Roger Burnett came up to me and said, "Look, Colin Wright's been in touch with me, wants to talk to you. Would you interested?" So at Donington Park, the last race in 2000, they just win the championship. I'm on crutches still from this crash with Birdie.
Wow.
Right. Colin wants to see you. Oh, right. Oh, shit. So I dumped me crutches in Birdie's hospitality. I thought, I can't go into fucking office with crutches. That's not much of a selling point, is it? You know what I mean?
I'll be good. Put me back out
Trust
there,
me,
coach.
pal. I'll be on it in a minute.
I'm good, coach.
Come in, wheeling in a wheelchair. Don't worry, mate. Your money's safe with me, pal.
Just put an extra 0 on that contract. Yeah, we'll talk.
And so I was trying to walk as straight as I could, but it was. I tell you what, it was bad. So I hobbled into
yourself.
Yeah, literally. I walked into a truck, and it was a seating situation like this with a table in them. And hi, Colin, right? Yeah, I'm all right. And he was busy because he'd just won the championship. All the team was celebrating, like fully celebrating, because it was the last race. Chris Walker broke down like with laps to go.
Yeah.
They won like it was a Neil Hodgson coming with his leathers on still. This is a couple of hours after the race, absolutely leathered, like, right, James. So, and they had a piece of paper on the table already. Colin Wright doesn't do small talk anyway. I don't know if you bumped into him, but he's pretty strong.
I rode under Colin for, do you know when he came back and he was running for the Halsall team?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So he sacked Tommy Bridewell.
That's right.
And I ended up riding the bike for a few rounds that year.
Right.
So I know Colin pretty well.
Right. So he runs a tough ship, and he was perfect for me in those early years. And he went, "Oh yeah, James, 2-year contract to be Neil Hodgson's teammate, World Superbikes."
Wow.
Says how much do you want?
A 19-year-old.
19. Yes.
19-year-old.
I was still 9. No, I was. My birthday's October, so if
1920. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Roger? Did he bring you in with Roger?
No.
Oh, so he asked you directly. Roger
just said, Colin's thinking about this, and I'm pushing for you. And then Colin just rang me at in the paddock to come into the truck, and that's exactly how it was.
I must ask, when you walked in there, was that, how much would you have gone for, or was it a free? Like, where was your mind? I just want to be out there.
I said, I'll do it for free.
That's what I mean. So when he asked you, slid that bit of paper over and said, "How much do you want, son?"
I said, I'll do it for free. To his face.
Mm-hmm. Sign there. I bet he was like, sign there.
And that's the first time and only time I've seen Colin Wright a little bit speechless.
I bet.
Lost for words a little bit. And he went, and because he laughed a little bit, and then I'll do it for free. And he was like, no. You don't ride for us for free. And he said, so I said, well, Birdie paid me 30 grand, so if you give me 30 grand, I'll do it for 30 grand. So 30 grand, done.
Wow.
That was a conversation of my deal to sign the contract for the first 2 years of
was that your first? Sorry, was that your first contract ride that like paid? No. Paul Bird. Sorry, he did say 30
Castrol
grand.
Honda was 30 grand.
Right, there we go then.
So it's 16 years old was 30
16, you earned 30 grand. Wow.
Yeah.
I have to cut a lot of trees for that. Anyway,
that's amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, this is different times.
But still.
I mean, to get paid 30 grand now to do World Supersport as a British Supersport rider with just potential, not knowing any of the tracks or anything, right? You'd have to take 150 grand with you to get a ride these days.
It's crazy how much the sport's changes in such a short period of time.
There's Mackenzie. Yeah, he had to pay for a ride at World Superbike. You think
He's just won the British Superbike Championship, and he was asked to bring a few quid to Worlds. Yeah.
Crazy,
yeah. It's really different. I mean, I sold myself a bit short then, but I mean, 2-year deal to ride a semi-factory Ducati in World Superbikes, a proper bike and a proper team. I sold myself short. But I didn't sell myself short on the investment, so I knew. So
and then 2 years. So the first year, kind of running number 2 to Neil and sort of learning the Ducati on the big tracks and stuff, and pretty sort of consistent. Did you finish about 13th in the championship that year?
Yeah,
and then the second year was much higher up,
7th,
working towards it.
Yeah, and again, I did 3 years with GSE to finish 13th, then 7th. And still get a job. I'm forever thankful for GSE Racing, Colin Wright, and everybody that worked for that team for sticking with me, to seeing the potential, but to develop me. I had my age on my side. I was very unusual at World Superbike to be riding at 20 in my first year. So I had that on my side. But there ain't too many riders these days that goes 13th, 7th. Can we sign him again?
Obviously,
you don't get a third year after them 2 years, do you usually?
No.
Well, obviously, like I said, at that age and seeing the sort of progression, I always remember the first time, I think it was the first meeting that I ever rode for Colin, and I didn't test the bike or anything, and I was running in Superstock at the time, so it was kind of like difficult to know what to expect. But we had a bit of a meeting after qualifying, and I remember him saying, right, the goal is to try and get points. To get points, you need to finish within 30 seconds of the leader. This was at Knockhill. He said, as long as you're 30 seconds, you will get a point. Anyway, I went out and I think I either broke down or crashed or whatever, and I came in and the person that was 15th was like 29.6 seconds or 30.8 seconds, and I thought, bloody hell, that's unbelievably accurate, but I thought it could possibly be a fluke. And then it was like the next round, say like Thruxton, I was, after free practice, I was like, say, 20th overall in the times. And he said, right, I've been looking at the times, and you'll finish, as long as you stay on, you'll finish 10th. And I was thinking, like, well, I'm 21st, so it's a bit optimistic. I went out and I was 8th on the last lap, and I came around and I P8, 1 lap to go, and I thought, I'm going to, like, outdo him. Anyway, Tyron McKenzie and Mason Law both passed us, and I finished 10th. And I was like, how on earth did you know that?
You would have loved that as well.
Yeah, it was incredibly accurate for, like, predictions and looking at, like, averages and, like, just weirdly, like...
You did yourself a favour losing those 2 places, because if you'd have pissed him off by finishing 8th...
That would be the end of it.
That was worse than finishing 21st, pal.
But
the understanding of racing and the knowledge and the history that those boys had and have, I mean, it's that's where, for a young kid like yourself, when you rode, or for a 20-year-old me, it was just invaluable. You know, to have someone in your corner, you've qualified 21st, right? And you go, right, if you do everything right, and you don't make any mistakes today, you could finish 10th, right? Just having a manager that kind of understands the racing game that much, but can tell you that, seriously, with conviction, gives you so much confidence.
I'm sure he's told us a story about... Did you not have a problem where you kept being ill, and then he found out it was like there was some shit in your water bottle or something?
The straw.
Yeah, tell the story of this, because Colin's told me about this.
God. How embarrassing! I mean, I had a bottle, like, and you get your little favourite lucky bottle, like, with your straw, like, and you got your little. I had my sticker on, my JT sticker on, 52, like. Dear, I'm surprised you let me have that, to be honest. I got there. I always trained hard, so fits fiddle. Wednesday, Thursday, out on Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, feeling a bit under the weather. Sunday, I was like having those thingy injections in your ass to straighten you up again, like your temperature and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, I had a couple of them on Sunday nights, and it's like something's going on. We were in Australia, I remember, and Neil Hodgson was getting his stuff out, this obvious thing, his leathers, and he was really like OCD about it, and then I was as well, like, so we're getting everything all sorted. And then Roger said, "Oh, give us your bottle, Neil. I'll go and clean that out." And I said, "Oh," give us your James. I'll do them both at the same time. And he went, fuck it, what the fuck? Like, and it was full of green mold. This thing, I didn't know you had to clean straws out or anything. I was a kid, you know what I mean? Like, and all weekend I've been sucking through this straw of,
You're necking penicillin for a giggle,
and literally, like seriously, like hospitalisation ill by the time Sunday night come, like horrendously ill. Like, I was riding around in the second because there was 2 races on a Sunday back then. I was riding around in the second race, like with 6 laps to go, absolutely hanging out my arse, thinking, hang on, what's going on? Like, so, and yeah.
I bet Hodgson's going, damn it, he's figured it out. I've been putting mould in that bloody bottle for ages. What's going on?
I bet you had a right laugh with Neil travelling the world and like the rest of the team, and like he's such a nice guy.
Neil was the one of the rare teammates I can say was just a genuine friend, and I didn't make friends too easily in the paddock because I was so serious and so particular about stuff, and I think because of the way I started my career as being a loner, right, I wasn't used to socializing, and I wasn't used to kind of socializing with other people that wanted to beat me at something I really wanted, and I couldn't separate all that. So I was a bit of an outcast, and I felt like an outcast, but I think it was just because of the nature of my upbringing inside the sport. I just saw races as somebody that was trying to take something off me, and I couldn't ever separate that with the helmet on or helmet off. So, but Neil was one of the guys that broke through that, and we're still fantastic friends, and we worked on Beachy Sport together and all the rest of it, but we're still fantastic friends from that. And the things he said to me and gave me tuition on how to ride a superbike in those first 2 years was a massive reason why I was a world champion at 23 and not 25 or 6, because he really helped. And he let me follow as well. Not many riders let you follow, and there was a couple of occasions where I nearly took him out, like trying to keep up, and I shouldn't have been. It was a bit of a motocross, like hitting the jumps flat out kind of a situation, because he was quite a bit faster than me when I first started. I remember a couple of occasions where he got a bit annoyed with me because I was a bit close when I was just trying to hang on to him. But that dragged me up so quick to him. So yeah, a lot to thank for Neil.